Guess who's back again. Zachy's back. Actually, never call me Zachy. But anyway, we're back with another Out of the Park Baseball 22. Pittsburgh Pirates play through road to the championship. And the last we left, it was the All-Star break, and we were freaking tanking. And as you can see here on the division graph, we were at our lowest point of the season at not the All-Star break, the trade deadline. And I said, hey, I'm going to sim this thing out. If for some reason it turns around, we get close to playoffs, whatever, I'll stop. You know, it didn't really get that close, to be quite honest, but we did turn it around. And if you can see in the second half of the season, steadily increased our winning percentage and didn't have too bad of a season. We turned it around to be, even though we were 14 and a half games out of first place, 13 and a half out of the wild card, we still finished 76 and 86, which if you remember back to the season projections, we were supposed to win 74 games. So we made up big ground in the second half, although we were so far down at the All-Star break that it didn't really matter. So you can see here on our team stat rankings, our hitting rebounded, but was still bottom half of the NL, and our pitching improved. I know that you look at these ranks in terms of runs against, starters ERA, and it's bad, but it improved from rock bottom. So I'll go over a few highlights. We're going to cover the entire offseason. This might be a little bit of a longer video today. We're covering the entire offseason, including highlights from this past season in this video. So I think, number one, the most important thing to discuss is that Kumar Rocker threw his first pitch as a Pirate, and this is my apologies. I probably should have stopped the simulation, actually played the game, recorded it, whatever. But to be quite frank, I was simming. I got carried away. I didn't realize he'd already made his first start. By that time, the moment has already passed. But Kumar Rocker getting time in the major leagues. And he did himself justice. And you can see here that he is about ready. And I think next year he'll start in the major leagues. A little bit more work he can do on his control. Walked 4, or almost 5 per 9, which isn't great, but struck out almost 10. I got a little bit of help from Babbitt, but overall his whip was down. And pretty solid work in 25 innings. Finished 1 and 2, and even had a save thrown in there too. So I think he's ready to be in the major leagues. He didn't choke. I mean, he didn't implode. He acquitted himself well, and I think he can come up. I think he can stay up at the start next year, and that's really a theme of the offseason is when we get to our development. And I'll touch on this a little bit, but our development over the course of this year was pretty significant, and I think we're going to have a lot of solutions to some of our problems in-house to take the next step. I should have also mentioned that the Dodgers won the World Series in 5 games. They beat the Astros 4-1. If something wild had happened there, I would have stopped and recorded it, but it was, I think the Final Four was the Astros, the Dodgers, obviously on different leagues. I think the Yankees were in there, and it wasn't the Padres. It was, I think it was the Braves. So, or no, it wasn't the Braves. It was another team though that it's like they're there every year. So it didn't really matter. And then nothing new, nothing crazy happened. So anyways, not to get off topic. So Kumar Rocker, I think that's probably number 1 on the item list of highlights is Kumar Rocker getting time and playing well in the major leagues. Second is one of our earliest trades, Domingo Herman. He actually finished with a 14-12 record, but I think the surprising thing here is that he won the NL wins leader with 14 wins, had the most wins in the National League, and pitched pretty well. Pitched had a 4 WAR, which is a good level. I think you're getting into all-star level around 4 or 5 wins. Maybe it was 6 wins, but still pitched pretty well. Low whip, 216 Ks and 213 innings. The fact that he went over 200 innings is awesome for us. So a great year from him. Also, Brad Keller even though he had the 11-13 record, he clandestinely, well, I guess that's the same thing, posted a 3.3 WAR, had a low-key, good season. Game started, led the league with 34, pitched over 203 innings. So another 200-inning eater here that really helped our bullpen out over the course of the year. So just a solid, steady performance for Brad Keller this year, and I'm excited to have him back again next year. So I think we have a good making to a rotation next year. Another one is the comeback of Ke'Bryan Hayes. If you remember when we left off, Hayes was hitting 190 after like a 2-for-4 game, he hit 190, and was at like negative .1 WAR. Well, this guy had a comeback pretty much of the ages, even though he finished pretty pedestrian stat-wise. He finished 728 OPS, 93 OPS plus, which isn't great, but you think about where he was with 47 OPS plus. Finished with 2.6 WAR, which is wild over the second half of the season. His power numbers came back a little bit. He got into the swing of things and really finished only a little bit down from the year before. And the wild thing is his zone rating is, I think we have a couple, and we'll get to this in a second, but I think we have a couple of players in line for awards. His zone rating at third base is just outpacing, lapping everyone. That if he doesn't win that Gold Glove award at third, it's not right. It's unjust, to be quite frank. But I think that is another highlight. Ke'Bryan Hayes isn't fully back, but I think we can take a deep breath and say we don't have to hit the panic mode on this guy's career just yet, because he showed some spunk coming back from that. So, and that touches again on what I was talking about with Kumar Rocker. Our development was fantastic. So if I go to the lineups here, I want to take a look at a few players. The first being Travis Swaggerty. Low key, really came around into a potential full-time center fielder, and really is pushing Nick Senzel for the job. If Senzel didn't have an all-star year, we might be looking at getting Swaggerty starting. And who knows, over the offseason with ratings changing, it could be Swaggerty's job. But he posted in his time in the major leagues, which 140 at bats isn't insignificant. 889 OPS. And then at the AAA level this year, over 1,100 OPS plus, and he put up 1.8 WAR as a Pirate. So he had a fantastic season, and his development took a huge jump. And it goes to show, even if you look at the scouting too, you can see here the last few years he's really skyrocketed here. So Travis Swaggerty has had, he developed properly. Another one is Kumar Rocker, and we showed his stats. We didn't really go through his development per se, but we'll come down here and take a look at Kumar. Again, just his control being a 45 rating, which is I believe MLB average. Everything else is all-star level ratings or above average ratings. So again, his development has come a long way, and if we could get that control up to a 50, that he's going to be a dynamo. Even at 45, he's going to be a very good starter. The walks might still plague him around, high threes if that doesn't tick up to 50. But if it ticks up to 50, you have a perennial all-star right there with Rocker. Someone else who got some time in the second half that acquitted themselves well, J.J. Bleday. You can see his development. Everything is at a 60 level, above average level. And he, again, playing solid right field defense. The stats don't show it, and I think he'll have time to rebound. But in terms of development and where his potential is, I think he's finally hitting his stride. So that's one. And then we'll stick with the hitters here. But Tommy Lestella, again, he sneakily posted 2.1 WAR. And don't look now, first baseman Tommy Lestella up here in the position rankings, which that's going to be something interesting that we'll talk about here in a second, what we're going to do with first base in the offseason. But 294 average, only 54 strikeouts, 49 walks, 800 OPS. The guy hit. So he looks like another one of our trades that really paid off here. 113 OPS plus. I mean, that was a sneakily a very good season for him. So someone else that I wanted to touch on real quick on the major league level. Let's see if I can find him here. Rosie, that's what I'm calling him, Rosie Contreras. So, again, he has had quite a developmental jump in terms of his ratings. Everything at least MLB average or better. And, striking out 10 per 9 innings, walking 3, only allowing a half home run per 9. This player here has the makings of a very good reliever. A righty throwing 94, 96 miles an hour. So I think that he has the potential to be pretty good. And yes, I know I see here that you're seeing the blown save there, but maybe he's not cut out for the save, a closing role, but could be a strong reliever here on out. So again, another success story from the development side. And the other development stories I want to discuss on is at the minor league level. So if you look at AAA, we have some players who are ready to contribute right now. Jake Berger, who we actually made a trade for off the not on the screen when we wanted to demote someone. I can't remember who it was, but they didn't want to be demoted, so we saw okay, instead of cutting this person, who can we trade it for? But again, 1.2 WAR at AAA, 106 OPS plus, hitting 820. And then look at his first base, 70 first base. So that could right there replace Colin Moran, who's due for a raise of up to, I think, $5 million. Not a raise up to $5 million, but his cash amount would be $5 million. So again, in-house replacement that we don't have to go out to search for. So that's one of the players I want to touch on. And then another one is Cannon Smith Jigba. Out of nowhere, this guy. Well, I shouldn't say out of nowhere because he's put up positive WAR every stop in the minor leagues. But in AAA this year, 112 OPS plus, hit 300 and 422 at bats, a good gap power, good home run power as well, and then contact, eye discipline, avoiding Ks around league average, and then play solid defense too. So there's another in-house replacement, or not replacement, but in addition to our lineup that we could have some depth there in right field, and that helps because at the end of the season, Mitch Haniger requested a trade. Couldn't do anything about that. His contract's up this year. We can't trade him now because he's going to be a free agent, so we're just going to have to let him walk. But again, it's someone else that we don't have to go necessarily outside of the system to find a solution for, or find someone who play in that role, which means we can allocate that cash elsewhere. So that's a great part about having a good development system. You develop well, they come pretty cheap. You can see here that Cannon is still on a minor league contract, so we can divert the money we have into another free agent, maybe a pitching for a year or whatever. But we'll come back to that in the future. But overall, a very good development season. Like I said, we have some pitchers in the thick of the awards, and it's mostly the Platinum Stick and the Gold Glove. Everything else, MVP, Rookie of the Year, we don't really have anyone there. But in terms of defense, good Platinum Stick and the Gold Glove, we have some players in contention there, which I'm excited to sim to. So a couple items that we're going to do together is we're going to shop Colin Moran. And we're going to look at potentially signing Peter Alonso and Domingo Herman to extensions because they still are in the eligibility or the arbitration mode. And let's see if maybe it might make sense to extend them, or at least offer them an extension that we would like. And then we also, one thing I'll show you too is that we filled a lot of vacancies in our minor league system. So if I come down here to personnel, you can see a ton of vacancies. So this really came about, I don't want to say mass firing, but I wanted to see if we could maybe improve some of the development and some of the team, in our low minors. And some people were just retired too. I mean, we had very good development. So when we're looking at the Indianapolis Indians here, the Altoona Curve, Greensboro, Grassl, those coaches pretty much retired, but everyone else was, fired essentially. So we we just went through our normal process of, okay, looking at what job they're assigned for. Show me, I'll come in here to like Joel or let's see, Jared Gaynor, and say, okay, well, we're looking for a pitching coach. So let's see, how do you handle development? Decent. What is your pitching focus? Power pitchers. You teach pitching. It's excellent. Okay, great. Let's look to sign you as a pitching coach at one of our levels. This time around, I tried to get everybody on the same page. So I tried to get all the pitching coaches, the focus being power pitchers. I try to focus the hitting on either patience or contact. So then when I draft, I'm also going to look for power pitchers, going to also look for people with contact, so that everyone's skill is continually being developed. So when they get to the major leagues, hopefully they will have good success there. So those are a couple things I've been focused on as well. And then before we get into shopping some players, let's just look at salary arbitration here, just so I can see, are we gonna offer anybody? Are we gonna offer any minor league contracts, anything like that? The only player down here, and we'll start with the least important, so pending minor league free agents. I kind of want to purge the minor league system here, because I think there were some players. The only person I was thinking about was Cody Ponce, who will offer him a minor league extension. But I want to purge everybody else, because I think there was some blockage, I guess is the right word. There are players blocking other players. So we're going to want to purge them so that our guys have a chance to grow. Everybody else here can leave. The only other person I was thinking about would be Dwayne Underwood, but he doesn't want to sign with us, which is fine with me. Our pending free agents here, Haniger, we're not going to submit a qualifying offer. We actually, this might actually be the play to do this in order to get a potential draft pick, but I'm afraid he would take it. Because if we offer him an extension, to see if I offer him an extension, not interested in discussing it right now, not in the mood to continue negotiations. So we could kind of call his bluff and say, okay, we're going to offer you, $18.9 million. And if you don't want to play for us, great, don't play for us. And then if we offer them, if any team submits a qualifying offer and someone else signs that player, then you get a compensation pick for that player. But I'm too afraid that Haniger will probably he might accept that deal, and then we're shit out of luck for the rest of our offseason plan. So I'm not going to gamble with our future with that. But Steven Matz, his timing couldn't be more perfect. I mean, not for him, but for us. Torn flexor tendon, so he's out 5 to 6 months. Not going to offer him a contract. Zach McAllister, overall, pretty ineffective in his stint here for the Pirates, so we're going to let him walk as well. You can see that ineffectiveness is corroborated with a negative .4 WAR. So we're going to let all those guys walk. We're not going to play the gambling game with Haniger in the hopes of getting compensatory pick. But we're going to take a look up here at arbitration eligible players and see if there's anyone who we could maybe extend. And I mentioned a few of them, or we're going to withdraw our offer from. So Kyle Crick and Richard Rodriguez, we're withdrawing our offer from them. Just think I can find better solutions in-house. Kyle Crick, you could see ended the year in, pitched most of the year in Double-A, which, no need to keep that around. So JT Brubaker, his increase isn't that significant. We'll keep him around. Domingo Herman, he's someone that I might want to look at an extension for. But he is 30. He is a pitcher. Just pitched 200 innings. I'm not going to get too googly-eyed there. I think maybe his 1.1 whip was, I don't want to say a fluke, but I don't think it'll probably ever be that low again. But I am interested to see offering him a contract extension, what that would be. And see, he's not really... $5 million. I'm not going to pay him more than what it would be in arbitration. So we're going to back out of there. I could probably offer him something more, but, why? We'll see. Clay Holmes, $100,000 increase. Really had a poor season. I believe he came off a little bit of an injury as well. Extreme ground ball pitcher. The walks have just killed him the past few years. So I think I am going to withdraw that offer. I think we could maybe use that extra $1 million somewhere else. I'm going to withdraw Clay Holmes. Brad Keller, age 27. His stuff is, I don't know if it's decreasing or not, but See, it's so funny. I just spoke about how all these players have great years that I'm in here, the arbitration, bitching about. Oh, I think it's kind of fluky, whatever. That's the GM inside of me. Praise him, and then I'm like, well, I don't know. Let's see if we can offer him an extension, a long-term extension. He's really looking for, a year, $9.91 million. Initial offer. I don't know about that. We'll come back to that. We have Chris Stratton. I'm okay with the $1.8 million. I believe that he's a good pitcher overall, and he could improve from that negative .1 WAR. So I'm okay with increasing his payment by like $100,000 there, if that's what gets approved or what the arbiter approves there. Michael Perez, I'm okay with that. Provided some pretty solid relief catching. Pete Alonso is someone who I'm thinking about extending, but we'll come back to him. So Colin Moran, good season again with the 110 OPS plus, the .6 WAR, the solid first base play there. But as you've seen before, and as we've gone through, we have in-house options that we could use instead. So instead of actually just withdrawing this and then him become a free agent, before we do that, we're going to try to trade him. So we'll go down here to Kevin Newman. I'm okay. $400,000 increase there. He is not going to kill us. He's not going to, help us incredibly, but he is a solid, good solid second base option there. Anthony Alford, I am going to withdraw this offer. He ended the year in AAA, or played some AAA this year, and we have, Swaggerty that could be on the active roster. So we're going to withdraw Anthony Alford there. And then our last one is Nick Senzel. So Senzel had the All-Star. I think we haven't even looked at him yet, but he's the one with the All-Star year. 276, hit 8, at batting average, 855 OPS, 127 OPS plus, 4.3 WAR, 78 walks, 20 home runs, and then 29 stolen bases. So he was a 2020 player there. And then also the one thing I forgot to mention that was Taylor Trammell, 31 stolen bases this past year and 18 home runs. So just came a bit shy of his second straight 2020 season. So Senzel produced one here, and then Trammell was very close to having his second one back-to-back. So I'm okay with that increase. I actually want to see if we can maybe sign Senzel to a long-term deal, even though he makes me a little bit, he worries me because of the center field defense. That could go downhill quickly, and if that's what happens, we don't really have anywhere else to put him unless the DH gets offered here in the NL. So let's see. He wants an 8-year extension of $12 million. That gets as high as $16 million per year. I don't know. See, I would be okay with, you know what? I was going to say buy out his arbitration years, but we're not going to pay him after a career year. That's what you got to remember not to do as a GM, and you see this mistake made in all sports. If you have someone under control for future years, and they're coming off a career year, do not pay them. Or, maybe pay them something that's reasonable, but do not, think, oh, this is what we're going to get, forever in the future, because it's likely not. 4.3 WAR for Nick Senzel. I'm glad he hit that, but, you're looking at his career before. We're going back to 2019, 1.1 WAR, negative 0.2 WAR, 1 WAR, half a WAR, 4.3 WAR. So up until this point, he's always been below average in terms of OPS plus. This is his first year over, so we're not going to pay him, like he's freaking Andrew Jones. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to 4.83 arbitration, fine. Pay him more, that's great. But then what happens next year is he doesn't play as well. Then we get him at a reasonable rate. So the other person I was thinking about was Pete Alonso. Again, he scares me too, just because of the whole defense thing. Because defense does not age well, and he just wants in Pirates terms, an astronomical contract, $16 million per year, $150 million. total. 9 years. I mean, 36 years old. Is anyone still going to want Pete Alonso at that point? I mean, if he's 27, I'd be comfortable with what? Let's look at his scouting reports here. I mean, he's already dipping on some of his things. So I would maybe go 3 years. I'm curious what he would think about 3 years at this. But then again, do I think that his Major League service is 4 years? So I believe, if I'm correct, he has 2 more years of arbitration eligibility left. So do I think he's going to exceed enough where that number is going to top 11 or 14.5 million? I don't know. Now you have you also have the option of extending him a little bit later, or I mean, if you do extend him, past 3 years, extend him 5 years, you do have that control ability where you're like, okay, well, I don't have to, we're not going to get to that point where, 2025 or, 2024 after these next 2 seasons that you're not, hey, I don't want to play with you anymore while you still have some left in the tank. Or at that point, he's going to look for a fat new contract that's going to take him another 9 years because he hasn't been paid yet significantly. And then at that point, there's no way we sign him. So you kind of get the best of both worlds if you extend him now, but I don't think we have to. And again, we wouldn't be necessarily paying off a career year for Pete. 2.9 WAR. He did exactly what we expected. Good slugging percentage, good OPS plus, but the whole, I don't know. I am tempted, but I think we could also do this maybe in the middle of the year next year as well. I don't know if we'll have the same type of success. I mean, maybe we're going to play ourselves here. I'm not sure. But I think this also, keeps him, if he were to ever crater, we also have a little bit, he has more trade value like this. Well, actually, I don't know. If we lock him up for long term at a reasonable rate, he may have more trade value that way, but I don't think we're going to get him for like $8 million. So anyways, I'm talking in circles right now. So the only other person, I think we already looked at Domingo Herman. We decided not to. So all that for nothing, essentially. There. The only other thing that we're going to touch on before we get started in this offseason is we're going to shop Colin Moran to see what we can get. So we're going to trade. We're going to shop around player. We're going to shop here. And let's see what we can get. So we'll take, we're not going to take the first option immediately. But we'll see which teams are interested and kind of work back from there. So let's see. The Padres look relatively interested. They could also just trying to unload bad contracts here. Look at Eric Hosmer, 4 years left, $20 million. Yikes! That's what we don't want to get in with Pete Alonso. But here the difference between him and Alonso is that Hosmer has elite level defense. So. But for that contract, no freaking way. So the Rockies look somewhat interested as well. The Cubs are offering 2 players. So we're going to start with the Padres because they have a good roster to choose from. And I'm interested to see if we can, anything we really get for Moran, I'll take as a win. But let's see if we can get any of their, any good pitchers. I would really like, make a move from a starting pitcher perspective. Let's see. Denisel Lamet would love to see if I could swipe them, swipe him from them. Sorry. That would be awesome. I wonder what else we have to include to get him. Probably way too much. See, this is when all my videos and all my trading goes down rabbit holes because it's like, well, we have Senzel, we have Swaggerty, kind of a logjam there. We could get an A starting pitcher caliber, but forget it. Let's see if we can't get the Lamet. Can we get Mackenzie Gore? He has to be definitely harder to get than Lamet. Yeah, for sure. We don't have anyone we could even offer. What about Chris Paddack? Looks like he's serving as relief pitcher for them now. That's curious. Let's see. Chris Paddack. Oh, nope. All right. Ooh, okay. So we could offer Cole Tucker. But look, he offers so much flexibility. He could get in anywhere. 1.1 WAR AAA level. Not a great major leaguer. In every one of his major leagues opportunity, Cole Tucker has never really come through in real life and in this game too. I mean, I could give Cole Tucker, let's see, Chris Paddack. What's his story here? Let's see. Normal, not really injury prone. I mean, talk about coming off a career year. Let's see, what do the scouts think here? Can hold down a late inning reliever role. I think he's a starter. Solid reliever, be able to pitch either as a setup man or closer. See, that to me is mind-blowing. He is not, at least right now, a reliever. I know that factually, but also I'm saying like in his pitching ability, he has starter potential. Blake Snell also, Ryan Weathers is as a reliever too. Let's see if we could do Ryan Weathers. Okay, yeah, we can't get him. I wonder about Blake Snell because Blake Snell has a relatively bad contract, I think. They would be over budget next year. Oh, Pittsburgh cannot afford the players offered. So, yes, he does have a bad contract. What if they kept 25%? Okay. What about, how low can we go here? How low can we go? Okay, 15% is the lowest amount that they can keep. Yeah, see, if I'm giving up Cole Tucker for somebody, I want that to be Chris Paddack. Don't want that to be Blake Snell. Adrian Morhan. Wow, who is this freaking guy? Who is this guy, eh? Moron. I know it's not pronounced that. Or at least I hope it's not. Yeah, can't get him. All right, so that's, let's see, any prospects, high-level pitching prospects we could get. See, this is why a lot of times I already have the trades in place when I get to this point because I don't know how exciting this is for everyone here to watch. But I like to take my time when I'm thinking of trying to get rid of some people, try to extend maximum value out of here. So doesn't look like the Padres have anyone that we could, have a deal that is obviously in our favor. So the other team, another team was intra-division rival, the Cubs. So we'll see here. We'll go to the active roster. We'll look at some positions here, and let's see about pitching. And then if there's no pitchers, we'll circle back and look at second baseman, see if there's any options to get a solid second baseman there. So looks like here there's no one of interest at any point in their staff. So we'll go back to, I can't remember what the other team was that was interested in Moran, so we'll just shop him again, and we'll get similar results. So right now it looks like the Padres, the idea of getting Paddack for Cole Tucker and Moran is quite appealing. Rockies, that was it. Okay, so we'll go to the Rockies. We'll remove Tommy Pham because we're not interested in Tommy Pham. But let's see what we could get from them. Just curious here. Yeah, Kumar Rocker for a closer? No way. Let's see. Herman Marquez. Just curious. Okay. Let's see how much we'd have to get them to keep. So bad contracts, that could be good for us if we're trying to take us. Yeah, see, no, not at all. Freeland. Okay, this one here, now we're getting some minor leaguers to get thrown in. Kyle Freeland, what's that contract like? All right, it's not bad. A lot of pitches is command. I think his stats, are so bad. He's been on my fantasy team a couple years, and I already know some of his stats are bad. And I think that's because of where he plays, naturally. But I'm also not a big believer that I want to be on the hook for an a pitcher already who's arbitration eligible, and I'm giving up a prospect, giving up a first base. I mean, we're essentially going to lose anyway. So when I'm thinking of these deals, I got to think of it like Cole Tucker for Chris Paddack, which I think 9 times out of 10 we take. That deal keeps weighing on me here. I really like that. But I don't see really anybody else here. Let's see. Chris McMahon, a reliever. Hey, Westchester, PA, city of birth. Yeah, still some developing there. Yeah, no, not that good. Let's go back to the Padres here. I'd like to see if I could get someone other than Cole Tucker. I might just try to spam some low-level minor leaguers in there. Let's see. Is there anyone elite second baseman here? C.J. Abrams? Why would they not want to give him up? Just curious. Oh. Dynamo on the base paths. I use that word a lot, dynamo. Okay, let's see. I also say a lot. I do realize that. Jake Cronenworth. What would that be like? Yeah. Can't believe it'd be easier to get Paddack off of them than Jake Cronenworth. Tatis, not even going to try. Not even worth trying. I know we have Carson Kelly, but just curious here. Luis Campusano. So Chris Paddack, huh? That's who we're looking at, potentially. I mean, it really would be. I mean, we're getting rid of Colin Moran anyway. I want to see if we could like trick the EAI because we're keeping more money. Yeah, see, no, they're not. AI's not that dumb. So okay, let's see if we can spam some prospects because I don't want to give up Cole Tucker. But I am willing to make this trade. I am willing to explore this trade here. Let's see. O'Neal Cruz, perhaps? So that doesn't really do. I mean, Kevin Newman. O'Neal Cruz, much better in real life than I think this game. Has had, pretty bad years. Back to back. We'll remove O'Neal Cruz. Let's see. Lolo Sanchez. Let's just throw Lolo in there. Who's our highest rated prospects? Of course, Kumar. Nick Gonzalez has developed nicely. I mean, he's not as far along as Kumar is, but still nicely regardless. Let's see. Who else? Hudson Head. Doesn't seem really high on him. Because I think he actually was a Padre at one point. Cam Cohen. One of the pitchers that we selected. Let's see what that gets us here. If I can find him. Cam, where are you? Where are you, Cam? Oh, there you go. Nope, not that. This. What would I have to do? So I don't think it's really going to allow me to just spam some prospects here and get a good deal. Let's say... we're getting closer. Sergio Campana. Okay, that's someone who I'd give up. Let's remove Cohen. Lolo Sanchez. Poor defensively. Doesn't really have a spot here, especially as a center fielder. Let's see. Could we get... I don't want to I don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul with getting rid of Rosie Contreras. Still haven't got... okay, then we're getting into the reliever area where we could trade. But I don't want to do that either. I think it's going to have to be... Cole Tucker or bust. All right, let's think this through. I'm sorry, gang. Let's go to our active roster here. Shortstop, what options do we have? Kevin Newman, Cole Tucker, Steven Alamaze. Weak options. Weak options indeed. Cole Tucker. I mean, he could turn it around. And I mean, we don't have, if we had someone else, Steven Alamaze kind of sucks from the plate at least. I mean, 0 home run power. 0 home run power. Newman, I mean, I don't know how much longer he's going to be a Pirate in this game. I mean, in life, I think he maybe has another season or two. But let's see AAA shortstop. No one. We have no one. AA. Can Nick Gonzalez, Leover Piguero, who came over in the Starling Marte trade, again, not great defensively. Decent with the bat. He was a straight lottery ticket when they traded for him. I wonder if we could get... Does that get us any closer to it? Yeah, see, it doesn't. Now, I could get rid of Newman. Here's an angle we haven't thought about yet, gang. Keeping Tucker, getting rid of Newman. What's the pros and cons to that? Is Chris Paddack worth it? Is he worth it? I mean, he makes our starting rotation more dangerous, that's for sure. He would not be a reliever. I mean, a 4.5-star pitcher that we could get for Colin Moran, who we're not paying anyways. Kevin Newman. Yeah, see, we have a lot of options to make this work. 253. I mean, we are taking a risk here for sure by including him in. Cost control, option at second base or shortstop, but he provides nothing behind the plate. Not necessarily saying Cole Tucker will either. Cole Tucker, he has provided a little bit of pop. I will give him that. We'll give him that. But he's going to strike out more, but he also has more flexibility. His second base isn't the best, but he would play shortstop and Lestella would play second. He's young. He's 3 years younger. We're probably going to get rid of Newman. I mean, let's be honest. We're probably getting rid of Newman, Major League service, like after this year. So why not take the chance to get Chris Paddack? Who do I have to include to get him here? Who's the worst player we can include? Jeremy Rivera, 22-year-old, high A, 25 walks. Looks like walks has been an issue for him. We could include him. Don't want to include... I would rather not include any starting pitchers. Don't want to include any second baseman if I can, because who knows who's going to pop there. What lottery ticket will pop. Domingo Gonzalez, 23-year-old. Yeah, he has a little bit, at least here, looks like a little bit more of a professional profile than our other guy. Who was our other guy? Jeremy Rivera. So add that in. So, okay. Ben Charrington also is a fan. We definitely benefit from making this trade. I agree. So let's see if we can just get a little bit. I can't believe I'm talking myself into this trade. I was just thinking, can we get anything for Colin Moran? So, I mean, how you really got to think of this trade, and maybe I'm just justifying this to myself. Kevin Newman and Jeremy Rivera. Because Colin Moran, we're losing him anyway. We are losing him anyway, so I'm shocked that he carries positive trade value. And they have Eric Hosmer. I don't know what this Padres AJ Preller is thinking here. But can we get anyone else? There's no way we can get Robert Hassel. But hey, shoot or shoot, right? What would you have to include to get him? Yeah, nope. Nope. Just bumped my mic. My apologies. Can we take any other pitcher off of them for the major league level? Pedro Villa? No. Don't like his stats there. Michael Baez? No. I mean, this roster is loaded. Okay, so let's now look at their prospects. I told you this was going to be a long video, guys. This is going to be a long one. Can we get a Mason Fox? Just randomly pick their top-rated prospect. Throws right. Next to no stamina whatsoever. 25. No, not interested. Sorry. Jagger. I love that name. Jagger Haynes. Yep, no. All right, so that's what we're going to do. This is our big splash play. We'll make the deal. Boom, done. Chris Paddack now on our team. Some players aren't happy that Kevin Newman left. I do feel bad about that, but we have some other leaders on the team for sure. So I probably should have now that I'm thinking about this might have been a big mistake. Chris Paddack, yeah, what's that? Okay, his arbitration number is not going up that much, so that's fine. Can we offer him a long-term extension? He is someone who I would like to offer an extension to. Could we do 4 years at, we'll just say, I mean, I think he's going to outperform this. If we do 4 years again until he's 30, $5 million a year. You know, let's not outbid ourselves yet. Let's just see if he accepts this. But when we tied up that long, here's something I think. Oh, okay, you only want 1 year. What about, let's do 3 years then at that. Will you do that? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, hey, nice try there. So we finished that portion, which is wild. So we shall finish today. Okay, looks like all of our Pat Burrell, hitting coach. Any millennials in there? Remember Pat Burrell? None of the younger viewers have any idea who Pat Burrell is. So it looks like we'll probably have to split this offseason up into two because that trade threw a wrench and everything, but we will sim past the awards at least. So let's check the Great Glove. Let's sim to that. Received a personal message. All right, that's great. Whatever. Everyone agreeing to their contracts. It's awesome. I believe everyone's. I should probably make sure that's the case. Let's see. Anyone? Oh, vacant. We had a hitting coach. Do we have a hitting coach? Turn it down. So, teaching hitting legendary. Handles development excellent. All right, let's offer you a contract. We'll go 5 years, my man. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go back to front office, personnel. Let's sim to the Great Glove Award. Okay. Front office, personnel. We have another vacant one, hitting coach for our AAA team. The AAA, you're probably already developed enough, but the handing development doesn't have to be excellent. But PJ Roper Hubert. Oh, what a great name. I mean, that alone is worth a... See, I don't think I offered everyone 5-year contracts, which was a mistake on my part. Front office, personnel. Okay. I'm sorry that we're going through this here, gang. But I need to make sure all my guys sign. We're getting close. Looks like we're still good here. So we'll just finish today until we get alerts back. Okay. Okay. I'm assuming these are all acceptances. If anyone knows how to eliminate, because in years past you could eliminate these notifications popping up and like ruining the simulation. I can't find a way this year. I've unchecked all the boxes. I've done all that stuff. I can't find a way to get rid of it. So let's see. Do we have anyone else? Okay, one more hitting coach. For the love of God, sign! Sign! Great Glove Award. Okay. Did we have no one win the gold? Is that really? Oh, I'm blown. Did Brian Hayes not win the Gold Glove? That can't be right. Stop. He's uncanny. What? Wow. Wow, I'm shocked right now. I'm saddened. I can't believe that's the case. Unbelievable. Unfrickin' believable. Huh, shocking. What a bummer. So none of our guys won awards. That's such a shame. Brian Hayes had the inside path. His zone rating was out of control. Maybe it was the hitting. That might have been what have done it, even though Gold Glove, you shouldn't really be considering that. But anyways, so we cut that in half. I expected to go through the whole season, but I don't think we're going to make, or off season, I don't think we're going to make any moves or many moves in free agency. Chris Paddack coming in is a huge move for us. So I think that we're pretty solid, especially based on our internal improvements that we had this year. I think we're solid all around. I'm excited to see what next year brings. We'll take a look. We have some cash to throw around, so if we see another starter out there, we're freaking going to go grab it. So we're serious about winning this year. So appreciate you guys sticking around. This is a 53-minute offseason video. We go in depth here, baby. We go freaking in depth. Hope you enjoy it. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you in the next episode.